Hi, everybody. This is the Chris Elliott Show. You look through the press box, a little bit of change of venue for us this week. From downstairs to upstairs here in the press box that we actually bring you Wildcat Vision from. I'm Dave McCulley along with Zach O'Kelly, and right behind us, the Wildcat Lair. It'll be the 58th game played in this venue for the Wildcats of Bethel. Since 2007, they are 28-19, hoping to make it 29-19 this week as they take on the Union College Bulldogs out of Barberville, Kentucky. It's a non-divisional matchup in the Mid-South Conference, and Zach, they come in. Union does 0-4. We're 2-3. Both teams with losing records. As a matter of fact, Union has lost 11 consecutive games dating back to last year, but I anticipate a hard-fought battle as we always have done with these guys. It'll be the 12th meeting. They lead the series 6-5. Last time we met was in Williamsburg in a wild affair that I did, 51-48. Good to be back home. Only the second time this season. We'll talk to Coach Elliott about this in just a minute. He's the star of the show. We're not. Always remember that. The old sage here will tell you. But we'll talk to Chris about that in just a minute. But good to be back home for only the second time this season.
It don't matter what sport you play or any, whatever your activity is, whenever you come home, it's always a good thing.
It really is.
It always makes it a better weekend, kind of barring the outcome.
A little bit of a bitter taste in our mouth, too, because we only home game we lost to Pikeville 22-0 here a few weeks ago.
Well, and the Cats have played most of the games on the road this year. They've looked good on the road. Last week, a little bit sloppy field conditions, a few mistakes on special teams, but still, they've played well this season still, and I think they're going to bounce back here at home and give the fans what they want to see. We'll
talk to Chris about this in just a few minutes. He's waiting in the wings over here, but getting off to the slow start, digging the quick hole really hurt us last week.
It did, and when you make a few mistakes early in the game, it's hard to overcome those, and the momentum starts to shift the other team, and once that momentum shifts, it's very hard to change the direction of the momentum.
My sources tell me that Kerry Sellers will be back. Of course, Braxton Bogus did a good job, the sophomore, really seeing his first action to some degree for the most part, and then Will Nix in the wings. Those guys have done a good job, but Kerry Sellers back, and he's the seasoned veteran, so to speak, and he's only a junior, but my rumors and my sources are telling me he's back. We'll get that word from Coach Elliott too.
That's always good to hear. Anytime a player gets hurt, he's going to be ready to come back. Spoke to Jaquel Fitz this week. He's got high spirits. He's suffered an injury. He's probably done for the season,
sure.
But he was in high spirits. He said, "Man, if they wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all."
I can attest to that for the summer I've had as well. 0-4 Union. They've lost their last 11 games, but a team that's dangerous. Why? They took Cumberland's, who's receiving votes, who waxed us really good last week, 59-7. In this case, bad for us, good for them, 59-7. But this Union team led them 10-0 at one time, trailed 14-10 at the half, lost 42-29, but gave the Patriots all they wanted. I know it's a big rivalry between those two. The proximity of the schools, Williamsburg, of course, and and you look at Union and Barberville, and again, it's a tough way to get there if you go through the mountains up in the eastern mountains, but go back up to London and go around that way, it's not too bad. But these are arch rivals.
They are, and Cumberland's probably last year when they played them, from last year coming over,
yeah.
Union beat them last year 28-27, and that's probably a little bit spilled over this year, and Cumberland's decided and wanted their pride back.
Sure, they certainly did. Looking at Union, we'll talk more about them with Coach Elliott in just a matter of moments. Zach, the Cats back home, Sellers back in the lineup. This team still could really have a good season, 2-3. This is a big ball game for us, and it's a big game because it's the next game. But it would even the record at 500 3-3. Non-divisional game, doesn't count in the Mid-South Conference standings. They're in the East, we're in the West. But we have Campbellsville coming here. Campbellsville went down to Faulkner, put 59 on the board against the third-ranked team in the nation, Faulkner, and beat Faulkner 59-50. Faulkner's at Reinhardt. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But this tells you the meat of the schedule still even to come with the likes of Campbellsville, the likes of Faulkner, number 10 now, the likes of Lindsey Wilson, number 1 in the nation, and Reinhardt now number 13. This is a brutal part of the schedule coming up for us. Next week's homecoming with Campbellsville.
It will, and Campbellsville is receiving votes again this week as well after the upset win at Faulkner. So it's going to be a tough road for the Wildcats through divisional play. But as we've said all year, the good thing about it, they've got 6 games to start the season off to kind of get settled and get something going.
Yeah, and the other part of that whole equation is that the fact that the schedule now after this game with Union turns into divisional games. The 5 games that really count to see if you can make the playoffs, those are about to come up.
They are, and it's going to be some tough matchups. most of the which this year in the Mid-South Conference, most of the weight of the powerful teams are in the West this year. So it's just going to have to be, I have to weigh it out week by week, and the Wildcats will have to see what they can do.
1:30 will be the kickoff. 1 o'clock here on Wildcat Vision. We'll have all the action for you. Yours truly, along with the Z-Man, Zach O'Kelly. Got to come up with a nickname for him. Of course, the folks in this area know me as Diamond Dave. I always tell people that in a quarter would get me a cup of coffee. Probably not that anymore, but I've embraced the nickname. Forget it anyway. But the situation is that Wildcat Vision will begin with the countdown to kickoff at 1 o'clock and the kickoff at 1:30. We hope you can be here. Students are out. It's fall break, so we need everyone that's the students, obviously, a lot of them will not be here, and I don't blame them for going home to their moms and dads and those kind of things. But we need everyone here that we can get here to support the Wildcats. 1:30 kickoff, 1 o'clock, countdown to kickoff here on Wildcat Vision. You can follow the game, too, if you just look at our websites right there, the little icons, and all it's embedded in the story, and right there where it says Wildcat Vision, just hit on that link, and it'll take you right to us. Let's get right to the other segment that we like to do here before Coach Elliott joins us, and that's Zach's Picks. And right now, your record, you didn't have a great record last week, 3-3. You'd really been good the week before. So where's the overall record standing right now?
It's 23-6.
That's still awfully good. It beats Fearless over in Jackson, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
And probably if Leonard's Losers, I don't think they're around anymore, but if they were, you'd be matching with Leonard's Losers, wouldn't you?
That's in high cotton there.
That's it, with those two guys, absolutely. Well, let's start with the big game. Let's start with number 10 Faulkner at number 13 Reinhardt in Walensky, Georgia. Beautiful place to go. Hard to get there. Tough football team, really, really coming on now. Was not ranked in the top 25 in the first poll. Have slowly but surely creeping their way toward the top 10. They'll get there if they beat number 10 Faulkner this week. How do you see it?
That's going to be, to me, that's the national game of the week right
I think
there.
so, too. Yeah.
You got two teams, top 13, 10 and 13, playing each other. Reinhardt will have a little bit of an edge, I think, it being at home. Reinhardt, their offense has been pretty unstoppable all year, so we'll wait and see what the Eagles can do, but I've got to give a slight edge to Reinhardt.
I'm going to go with Faulkner. I'm going to go with Faulkner on the road. The reason I'm going with Faulkner is they lost last week. I don't think they'll lose. I think they're too good to lose 2 straight weeks in a row, or 2 weeks in a row. But if they lose, I'll be a little bit surprised. You're going with Reinhardt. I'm going with Faulkner on the road. Now, that's no disrespect to Reinhardt. They're awfully, awfully good. We went over there and they really rang some points up on us. They're a methodical machine for the most part. Coaching changed this year, but still awfully, awfully good. Let's go to the other ranked matchup. Receiving votes, the Cumberlands out of Kentucky from Williamsburg. They'll make their way across the Parkway. It's a nice, pleasant drive, especially if you love the Commonwealth the way I do. I have to make a lot of stops to pick up my Kentucky memorabilia. But number one, you go through Somerset and come right on over to Columbia. Beautiful stadium right there on the Parkway. Lindsey Wilson, number 1 in the country. How do you see it?
That's going to be a close game. I've got it, Lindsey Wilson, number 1 at home. Our buddy Chris Wells is, they were pretty happy with the way the football team's been playing. I've got to give Lindsey Wilson a slight edge there, being at home.
Give me a score.
31-28.
31-28. I'm going with Lindsey Wilson as well. I think Lindsey Wilson's going to win the game 27-18. Weird score, I know, but it just popped up. But I think it's going to be 27 in the teens somewhere. I think Lindsey Wilson's going to have enough firepower to do it. Let's get to some other ball games. Receiving votes, you mentioned Campbellsville. Pikeville, the Bears going to Campbellsville.
Pikeville, we've seen them earlier in the year. They're a scrappy bunch. They like to run the ball like
22-0 right behind us here.
They were very efficient here the day we played them here. I've got to give Campbellsville's had a rough start and they've come on a little strong here of late. I've got to give them the slight edge at home, 24-17.
I think they're going to be high. This could be a trap game for them. Coming off the big win down at Faulkner, they go down and win 59-50. You knock off number 3 in the country. You feel great about yourself. All the students come up to you and tell you how good you are all week on campus. I think Campbellsville is too well coached to let that happen. I think they'll beat Pikeville. I think Pikeville will give them a scare, but I'm looking for Campbellsville to win it. Georgetown at Bluefield.
Georgetown and Bluefield. Georgetown's got off to a slow start this year. Got their first win last week. Bluefield's still searching for that first win. Playing at home. Bluefield has been able to put some points up this year too. Yes. So a lot of improvement there from what we've seen in the past. And that's what we've said before, that it just takes a little time to get things going. And I've got to give Georgetown a slight edge on the road here. They've got one win down, and I think they're got it figured out.
I believe Georgetown will win and win big. Bill Cronin's ball club, his program, too proud, too good. I pick them every week. You know that. I don't think I picked them again. I don't think I picked against them when they played Lindsey Wilson, but I think Georgetown will win that one. And the other game, other than ours, Kentucky Christian and Cumberland's Tennessee over in Lebanon. JoJo and the gang will welcome them with open arms.
That'll be a game to be seen there as well. Kentucky Christian 0-5. Cumberland's played 2 D2 schools, NCAA, played about tough Valdosta State team and played West Alabama. Played them pretty close first half, and West Alabama pulled away. I've got to give Cumberland's the edge.
Score?
35-13.
35-13. By the way, what was your Faulkner-Reinhardt score again?
I've got it a high-scoring game. It's going to be 48-41.
48-41, and you're going with Reinhardt. I'm going to go 42-27 Faulkner.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't like Faulkner's defense as much as I do. But our last game, Union here, the Bulldogs coming to town. They'll probably stay up in Paris. They'll come all the way across the Commonwealth from east to west, and they'll come down here tomorrow. We're actually filming this segment on Friday. If you didn't know, you do now. But it's going to be the Cats and the Dogs, 1:30 kickoff.
That's going
How
to
do
be
you see it?
It's going to be I've got it to be. It's going to be a pretty good close game. I've kind of thought. I've had extra day to think about it from when we shot what we did yesterday. Bethel being back at home. The Cats had a little bit of a letdown the last appearance here at the house. So I've got to give Bethel a slight edge here, 24-21.
I'm going to say the Cats are going to ring up 37 points. It's going to be 37-21. I'll tell you why. You see that field right behind us, folks? We're going to run the ball down their throat, or try to anyway. Now, I'm not being disrespectful to them at all. They're a good program and a proud program. They used to be sort of the Yankees of the league before they sort of fell on hard times. I mean, they were great for many, many years, and they're still. And I think Coach Willis is doing a good job up there. I think Bethel's attack will be to try to run it down their throat. They've had trouble stopping the run. They've been yielding 284 yards per game on the ground. I think Bethel's attack at the big old line, and they really played well at times. If our offensive line plays well, we're going to win this one and win it 37-21.
Yeah, and it's no secret that Coach Elliott and his crew, they love to run the ball, and they'll be the first to tell you that they love to run the ball, and that could be a little bit of an advantage for the Wildcats this week.
It's the Cats and the Dogs. Again, 1:30 kickoff. We'll have countdown to kickoff right here on Wildcat Vision at 1 o'clock. Zach O'Kelly and yours truly, Diamond Dave. When we come back, the star of the show himself, Chris Elliott. He's coming up next right here on Wildcat Vision. Well, a change of venue from downstairs here to the press box. Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Elliott Show. We told you a few minutes ago the coach would join us, and Coach Chris Elliott is in the press box with us. And, Coach, this is where we work from. And right behind us is where you work from when you were at home. But good to be back home, isn't it?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Tough start the other day at Cumberland's, and certainly too big of a hole to dig out of. We showed some spunk, had that touchdown from Vargas down to Quincy to get back to 16-7, but really a tough start for us.
Oh, I mean, you start a game like that. I mean, I'm not sure that it could be much worse, unfortunately. But, we start off the game, we felt like we had an opportunity to steal a possession. I mean, it wasn't really an onside kick, but we were trying to kick to an open area, and we just didn't hit the ball where it was, and they caught it and had a short field and, scored in, 2 or 3 plays. And then, of course, we got the ball and didn't do anything, and then, have the safety. And then, we want to always, when we kick the ball, we always want to put it in certain places. And, we didn't adjust to kicking the ball to the wrong spot. And then, their guy I think he's got 3 or 4 returns already this year, we kick it right to him, and then we don't adjust to the ball, and then he gets an easy touchdown out of that. But that being said, we come right back and make it 16-7, and had some chances early. It was just one of those days, unfortunately. And then, of course, I think we didn't adjust very well to the conditions of the field, and then it got hard to throw the ball and those kind of things. I mean, it's not an excuse, but there were things that we needed to be able to do that we struggled with just because of how things were. So.
Absolutely. And Williams, the guy that Coach Elliott's talking about, was the conference special teams player of the week, by the way, after his great effort against us. Coach, you look at the ball game, it's just one of those games you put behind you, and certainly let's give them some due. They received votes this week, and Zach and I both talked earlier. We talked in our office, I guess, early in the week. The fact I think they were a top 20 team.
Yeah, I mean, and they will be. I think they may. I don't know where they were preseason wise, but preseason, I think they struggled a little bit last year. Yeah. So preseason wise, they probably weren't in there, but they'll most likely move up. Sure. As they get through the division schedule on that side, but. It's like we say every week. There aren't any easy ones. I mean, they're all, in my opinion, they're all tough games. So,
I agree. And Union coming here winless thus far, but certainly maybe the best winless team in the country right now. They're still pretty darn good. Look at our conference too. I mean, Zach keeps telling me that Faulkner was to be had. I kept telling him no. Faulkner will not lose anytime soon. Campbellsville goes down there and rings up 59 on them, 109 points scored in the game. Yeah. I mean, in this conference, anything can happen.
Well, I mean, it can, and I mean that's there are some conferences that you have your top to bottom, and sure. It's like number one's undefeated, number two has one loss to one, number two, so on and so forth. But I've not ever. I mean, I've been around this league a long time, and I've not ever seen it work that way. Just because you look at records and things like that doesn't mean the game is going to play out the way you think it should, or the way people would, I guess, expect. But I mean, that's why we play, because otherwise you just sit down and write them down on paper and then move on to the next week. But that wouldn't be any fun either.
Absolutely right on target, I think. You look at this conference, and each week I call it the SEC or the NAI, and I really mean that. Lindsey Wilson, number 1. Faulkner, because they lost, dropped to number 10, and here comes Reinhardt. They sneaked in the top 25 a couple of weeks ago. Now they're at number 14. So, and the thing is, we got to play all those folks too. So, but it's a challenge, and certainly we can make a name for ourselves the rest of this year by some big wins there as well. Let's turn our attention to Union, the Bulldogs. We've had some great battles with this bunch. The last time we met, 51-48. But certainly they're always physical. They're always tough, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we've played them. We haven't played them every year since I've been around, but we probably played them
12th meeting.
12th meeting. We probably played them half a dozen, 7 times since I've been here, because they're on the other side and we don't always get them. But our games are always interesting, I guess, to say the least. But
I'm not even going to bring up that thing that happened a few years ago.
Please don't.
I mean, we score a lot of points, but they just happen to score more.
Yeah. Thanks for mentioning. But no, I mean, it's always just like everybody in this conference. Every game is a good game, and I mean, you've got to show up and play your best. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble.
What do you see about them on film? Let's start offensively with them.
Well, I mean, offensively, they're pretty well balanced. Run pass, but they got some good athletes. They move the ball around. They can run pass. So I mean, it's going to be good. They're more of a conventional spread type offense. 2-back runs, those kind of things. Nothing like we saw last week with the option and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be more of a basic type of offense that we're going to play, but it'll just be a matter of us, doing the basic fundamental things is really what it's going to come down to.
And sticking with them on the offensive side, they rang up 10 early points against the Cumberlands a couple of weeks ago, led 10-0, only trailed 14-10 to break. They were in that ball game almost through the entire third quarter. They're a dangerous team coming in here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you don't ever look at somebody's record on paper and think anything, either positive or or negative about a team. So I mean, you've always got to show up and do the things you need to do to be successful.
Defensively, how do they stack up?
They're 4-man front. I mean, not unlike some of the stuff we've already seen. So that that's a good thing. I mean, they're going to put a lot of people down to try to take away the run, which really gives us zero margin for error. We talked to the team about this the other day. Teams, it's no secret that we like to run the football, and I mean, we're going to do it, and people are going to put a lot of people in there, and we don't have like I said, any margin for error. I mean, we've got to be able to block everybody they put down there. And we, of course, game plan wise, we put ourselves in position to do that. Then when we get on the field, we have to execute that. But, the other thing whenever people are going to do that is you have to be able to complete passes, and be able to stretch the field out and that. So, we've had a good week of practice, and, I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys are going to do.
Now, we really like to run the ball. I mean, we'll pass it if we need to and want to, but we really like to run it. They are prone to give up some yards on the ground. They've given up 284 yards per game on the ground. So, it is a matchup that favors us, I would think, on the ground attack.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. If we take care of the things we need to take care of, we're gonna be okay. Not that we're not preparing to play Union, but it's more more falls on us and what we do and how we handle situations.
Absolutely. You look at this matchup, Kerry Sellers, what's his status? I thought Braxton played pretty well in spots last week. Certainly there was some, the pass down to Quincy for the 35-yard touchdown strike that got us within 16-7. It's a good indication that he's just a young pup, as Tim Haney used to call all the guys at Trenton Peabody, and that's where he is from, of course. But although Tim did not coach him, he's a principal and AD over there now. But you look at Bogus, Sellers, Nix. Well, how do we stack up at quarterback? Who will start?
Well, Kerry's getting back about as close to 100% as he's going to be. So he's going to start for us, and and hopefully he's going to play really well. I know he's been itching to get back on the field. It's not easy to stand and watch. So hopefully things will work out well with him. But we've got some other guys that are capable of playing too if we need them. You
and the kids I know, and all the other coaches and managers and all the support people, and us. We'll be on Wildcat Vision this week, by the way. Check it out on our website, and the link is there for you to watch the game. And certainly, Coach, it's my whole point is, it's good to be home. This is only the second time we've been home all year long. You got to feel like road warriors thus far.
Yeah, and our guys
being paid by the mile, I'd be hitting you for a loan. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no kidding. Our guys have handled the situation well. We played fairly well. We haven't done as well as we would have liked up to this point, but it is nice to be able to come home, and not have to get on a bus and do all of those things. But our guys handle those situations well, and I think our guys will be ready, and it'll be nice just to relax this week and not have to be traveling all over the countryside to play a game.
2 Saturdays in a row too, with homecoming coming up next week. Give me the keys for a big Bethel win.
We just need to play the way we're capable of playing. We can talk about the same things we always talk about, offensively taking care of the ball, being assignment perfect, executing the plan, all those kind of things. But bottom line is we just need to play better and play the way we're capable of playing. When we have played the way we're capable of playing, we've looked pretty good, and when we haven't played the way we should, we know the result of that too. So, just across the board, we've just got to do the things we're capable of doing and do them better and be more consistent. To this point this season, we've been too much up and down. We've been here, then there. That's not a good way to do it. So, hopefully, guys will. We're going to be prepared. We're done practicing now for the week, so now it's just the mental side of it, and we just got to come out and do our thing.
A lot of the kids, of course, gone with it being fall break, so I implore all the other fans around McKenzie and around West Tennessee, and I know a lot of the parents will still be here, and we anticipate still a really good crowd. Maybe not the capacity that I thought we had a great crowd in our first home game, but we implore you fans, and I know you do as well, to get here and support us Saturday.
Well, yeah, these kids work hard, and it makes it nice to be able to have a full stadium that's making a lot of noise and getting behind them, and it creates a great atmosphere, and hopefully we'll get that again Saturday.
Now, when we tape this, there was a soccer match, 2 soccer matches about to follow, and we noticed Zach brought it to my attention at the end of practice. Down here, the kids were having a little fun and using the football to throw over in the soccer. They were trying to do their soccer skills a little bit too.
Yeah, I guess they were kind of trying to mix,
having fun,
mix match sports. There, trying to play soccer and football pads. But you can invent a new game, I guess. I don't know. So,
well, Coach, good luck to you. Let's get a big home win, and we'll even that record, and then have a lot of the meat of the schedule still to come, and some attractive home games coming up. So, good luck to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it,
Coach Chris Elliott of the Bethel Wildcats. We'll come back. Well, actually, that's going to wrap it up. Zach O'Kelly and I will be here for the ball game this coming Saturday. We'll have airtime at 1 o'clock here on Wildcat Vision. The lovely Bridget Neisler has been our producer and director today, with the assistance of one Braden Nanny, I might add. But we will be here at 1 o'clock. Will be the countdown to kickoff show, and at 1:30 the kickoff. Hope to see you here. If you can't, join us here on Wildcat Vision. This has been the Chris Elliott Show. For Zach and Chris and all the gang I mentioned a moment ago, I'm Diamond Dave McCulley. Until next week, so long, everybody.